Hello and welcome to the programme where you can help stop crime. If there's anything or anyone you recognise as you watch our reconstructions, please ring. The detectives and the BBC researchers here behind me are waiting for your call, and so too are police throughout the United Kingdom.
Thanks to Crimewatch viewers last month, a number of people have been helping police with inquiries. You might remember we showed a photograph of a man wanted for questioning in connection with the murder of Mrs. Bronwyn Nixon, a Lakeland hotelier who was found dead at her home in Ambleside 5 weeks ago. As a direct result, within 2 hours of the programme, a man was detained by police in London and later charged with murder. Earlier today, he appeared before a court in Windermere and was remanded in custody.
We also showed you the photo of a man wanted in Nottinghamshire in connection with mortgage fraud. A viewer in Bristol thought he recognised the man, so he called the studio. 10 days ago, as a direct result of that call, a man was charged with 5 offences of fraud and has been detained in custody.
Earlier this month, 2 armed robbers began prison sentences as a result of a call to the programme. Back in March, we showed a security video, and a viewer recognised this man who just robbed an East London building society. He has now been jailed for 7 years on 4 separate offences, together with 2 accomplices who were convicted of related crimes.
In our first case tonight, police are looking for a random killer, a man who's killed once and might kill again. His victim was a girl of 19, and detectives are appealing to you to watch this reconstruction very carefully to see if you can help. Think back to just before the New Year, Sunday the 29th of December. It's the first Sunday after Christmas. The place? East London. Beside the canal at Hackney is an area of workshops and printworks, largely silent for the Christmas holiday. That Sunday, December the 29th, the roads here were deserted. But one printer's, Fairway Graphics, had deadlines to meet, and because of problems with machinery, Paul Tidyman, an assistant printer, had been asked to stay behind to do some overtime.
Oh, Alison. Yeah, look, it's me. Look, I'm going to have to work late tonight. Is that all right? Yeah? Do you want to come over here?
Well, you better tell me how to get there, then.
Although Alison had been Paul's girlfriend for 3 years and they'd been engaged for 2, she'd never been to where he works.
Cross one road, and you'll see Fairway Graphics on the right-hand side. All right? Now walk through the gate, and I'll be there.
What time shall I leave?
Well, if you leave between about 5:30 and 6 o'clock, then I'll start looking out for you from around 7.
All right, see you later, then. Bye. Thanks, Mum. I better go now, because I don't want to keep Paul waiting.
But you haven't had your sweet yet.
Oh, I won't have time for sweet. Anyway, I don't want to get fat like you, do I, Dad?
Oh, do not.
Mum, could I borrow a couple of quid for my fare, please?
Yes, of course you can. That should be it.
Fine, thanks a lot.
All right,
I'll be
love.
off. I'll see you later.
Okay.
Yeah, bye.
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 With only enough money for her one-way fare, her sheepskin coat and Paul's directions, Alison set off. It was a bitterly cold evening. Alison walked 300 yards to the bus stop outside Upminster Bridge tube station. A passerby remembers seeing someone like Alison standing there, waiting, at around 5:45. The bus she took would have been a single-decker 244 or 248 to Romford station. The journey would have taken about 10 minutes. From Romford, she took a 20-minute train journey to here, Stratford in East London. It was at Stratford station that detectives had the last clear report of Alison being seen alive by the ticket collector, Rose Lee.
Excuse me, I think I've got myself lost. I've just come from Romford and I want it to Hackney Wick.
You're well out your way. You've got to go straight back down to the bottom, into your left, over the bridge number 1.
Number 1. It's been freezing, isn't it?
Yeah, you've really tough.
Thanks. Bye.
Alison may have waited 15 minutes on platform 1 for the train to Hackney Wick. This is the North London Link line, just after 7 o'clock, and Alison might have been the only passenger. The journey lasted just 2 minutes. Hackney Wick is the first stop. Police believe Alison arrived here at about 7:10. Though she may not have realised it, she was now just 5 minutes walk away from Paul in Fairway Graphics, but she never got there. From dozens of possibilities, detectives are now concentrating on 3 main theories about what happened in the hour before she died. Theory 1 is that Alison was followed from the train. Alison may have been lost, or she may have realised she was being followed. A minicab company remembers receiving a call from a young woman at 7:13.
Hello, I'd like a cab, please. I'm at Hackney Wick Station, and I want to go to Hackney. A delay? How long of a delay?
Either her time ran out, or she couldn't wait. The line went dead. The cab telephonist remembers that the caller sounded distressed. Detective's second theory is that after Alison got off at Hackney Wick, she was lost. Having made the call and failed to get a cab, she walked 50 yards to the junction with Berkshire Road. If she'd walked straight on, she'd have got to Fairway Graphics in 2 minutes. Instead, she may have turned right and continued down Wallace Road. It leads to the canal and to a printer's yard where people go looking for discarded proofs of girly magazines. It could have been she met her killer here. The third theory is that after making the phone call, Alison again walked to the junction with Berkshire Road, but this time she walked the right way, straight down the road towards Fairway Graphics. When she got there, she would have seen the sign saying Atlas Works, which she knew was another name for Fairway Graphics. But instead of going to the main doors, maybe she turned down to the side. It leads to the canal. Alison Day's body was found 300 yards away from Atlas Works in Hackney Canal. She'd been sexually assaulted and strangled. Leading the hunt for her killer is Superintendent Eric Brown. Perhaps we should stress straight away, those are 3 prominent theories. They're just best guesses, but there are other possibilities.
Yes, there are. Alison could have been picked up by a car, someone purporting to be a minicab, or she could have used the S2 bus.
Now, a lot of it is guesswork because the last definite sighting is Rose Lee, the ticket collector at Stratford. What do you know about the time from about 7 or 7:10, whenever it was, 7:10, 7:20, that she arrived at Hackney Wick?
Well, she got off the train at the telephone box. She made that telephone call, and eventually her body was found in the canal at 8:10.
How do you know she went into the canal at 8:10?
Because her watch stopped at about 8:10, and it's been examined forensically. And we can say that it did stop immediately. It went into the water, and other forensic examinations confirm that.
So she got off the train at 7:10 or 7:20 and was in the canal by 8:10?
Yes.
Now, what might people round there, if there were people round there, other than the killer, have heard or seen?
They might have heard Alison scream, or they might have heard a splash as this coat was put into the canal separately from Alison. Or they might have seen someone on the Trowbridge estate, which is the estate close to the scene, carrying a coat like this. And this was put into the canal very close to the Eastway Bridge.
Right. And you brought some shoes. These her shoes recovered from the canal?
Yes, that's... no, they're not. Her shoes, these are very like her shoes. Her shoes are missing. And we would be very interested to hear from anyone who's seen a pair of shoes like this discarded somewhere.
Have other women been attacked in this area?
Yes. women have been attacked in this area. We'd be very interested to hear from any women that have been attacked in Hackney Wick or Leighton or Bow, which are very close.
Now, the crucial time, presumably, is anybody who has been attacked or anybody who's been frightened by a man in that area, around Christmas time this year. This attack, remember, was the last Sunday of the year, Sunday after Christmas.
Yes, that's right. That's the crucial time. But we'd also be interested to hear from women who've been attacked in, say, the last 3 or 4 years in that area.
Really, as far back as what, 1980, 81, 82?
Yes, that's right.
OK, well, if they will ring, please do. If you can help, do ring us now. Here's the number, 01811 8055. You can, if you want, ask to speak to a woman police officer. If you prefer, you can ask to speak to a BBC researcher. It is in absolute confidence. Or you can ring the police direct on 01488 5212 and ask for the Alison Day Incident Room. That's 01488 5212.
Well, now the Crimewatch photo call. See if you recognise any of the three faces Helen Phelps and David Hatcher will now tell us about.
First to Gloucestershire, where police want to interview this man, Vernon Bentley. He worked in Gloucester between June and December 1984, specialising in financial advice for small businesses. More than 12 months ago, he disappeared, and with him, more than £8,000 entrusted to him by clients. We think he may be working as an accountant somewhere in the north of England, where his West Country accent may make him distinctive. If you've seen him, please ring us.
And you may remember this photo of Desmond Quigley, wanted by Lancashire police investigating the murder of John Ward, an antiques dealer found dead in Lancaster in December 1984. We first showed it last March, and since then there have been some interesting developments. Inquiries have now established that Desmond Quigley has recently been working on market stalls in the London area, specialising in the sale of military artefacts. He's in his mid-40s and has a strong Glaswegian accent. So if you've seen him, call us.
Finally, this picture of Natalie Doughty, who went missing from her home in Warwick over 3 years ago, leaving behind her 11-month-old baby daughter. Natalie was 19 then, slim with brown eyes and brown hair, and she had tattoos on her fingers. She may well have decided to break off all her existing ties, but her family and friends are still anxious for her safety. A call in complete confidence might just reassure them. If you've seen her or any of the other faces on our photo call, please give us a ring.
The number, if you do recognise any of those faces, 01811 8055. That's 01811 8055.
Well, now we move to Manchester for our next reconstruction. 2 attacks on a security company which delivers the wages for Salford City Council. Detectives believe that it may have been the same gang involved in both attacks. For security reasons, some details of the wage delivery procedures have been changed. Our reconstruction starts just before Christmas with the first attack in Swinton, Manchester. 8 o'clock on the morning of Thursday the 12th of December. This Land Rover was spotted moving through the yard at the back of Grosvenor Road Primary School in Swinton. 3 men had entered the school grounds carrying shotguns. Their target was the Thursday morning payroll. They held staff at gunpoint, but panicked when the security van due to deliver the wages failed to turn up. At 8:15, the men made their escape empty-handed. That blue Land Rover had been stolen the night before in Oldham, 11 miles away. Ten past 8 in the morning on the following Thursday, December the 19th. 2 miles away in Eccles, it's another wages day, the last before Christmas. Mrs. Entwistle, cleaner at the youth centre, was getting the place ready for the Christmas party. There were few people about to witness what followed.
I hope she's in today. She was off last week. I won't be a second. Where were you last week?
Oh, I were off poorly.
I'm sorry to hear that. You better now?
I am, thanks, love.
Well, I wish you Merry Christmas then.
Oh!
Right! Stop right there! Come here.
door! Shut up, you stupid bitch! Right, you, in the back! Oh, come on, put her in too. We can't leave her here like that. Right. Come on! Move! Move! Come on! Get in!
Go, go, go!
With their hostages in the back of the security van, the raiders drove off up Gladstone Road, followed by an accomplice driving this yellow van.
Watch it! If she doesn't stop bloody screaming, shoot her!
Driving through rush hour traffic, they crossed the M602 at Albert Street. The two vans seemed to be heading towards Monton. But they must have known the area because less than a mile outside Eccles, they turned off down a small service road towards some secluded garages.
Right, this is it. Bloody George here yet. You, get on the floor. Get your heads down.
Right, don't move.
They abandoned the vans and ran back towards Monton Road. They probably cut through this car park behind Annesley Court, a block of flats. A stone's throw from the M602. And they got away with £100,000. Leading the inquiry is Detective Inspector Arthur Provost. Why do you think it was the same gang involved in both those attacks?
Well, I believe that there are certain details which tend to link these two crimes. For example, both crimes were committed early on successive Thursday mornings. In each case, the target was an armoured guard security vehicle. And most significantly, in each case, we have 3 masked robbers, 2 of whom have sawn-off shotguns.
Well, let's look at that Manchester connection. In the first attack at that school in Swinton, they used a blue Land Rover which was stolen the night before in Oldham. In the Eccles raid, their yellow Transit was stolen from Kersley in Bolton, Greater Manchester. That was the night before the robbery. And a white Ford Escort was stolen on the morning of the robbery in Eccles, and that was found a few days later dumped in Stretford. And so presumably that white Escort is a pretty significant clue.
Yes, indeed. We believe this could have been the getaway vehicle. It's certainly a possibility. Now, that vehicle was abandoned in the Gorse Hill district of Stretford at lunchtime on Christmas Eve. So we'd be very interested in anybody who saw that vehicle between the 19th and the 24th of December.
Right, and it's just those dates we're interested in, not in anybody who's seen it since then, of course.
No, just those dates.
And it's XBF 686J, just to remind you. You've one of the guns that was used on the raid with you now. What's significant about that?
That's correct. We recovered this sawn-off shotgun from the rear of the stolen yellow Ford Transit van. And marked on the breech of this particular shotgun are the letters and numbers YA14078.
So if anybody can come forward and identify that. Incidentally, it's a very dangerous weapon, I gather, for the person who's using it, because it's so unsafe.
It is in very poor condition, but I'd be very interested in anybody who recognises this gun as it is now, or as it was in its original state, with a complete barrel and complete stock.
Right. And what descriptions do you have of the men involved?
Well, in fact, as regards the Swinton attempted robbery, we have managed to compile a video fit of one of the robbers. And he's 28 to 30 years. He's clean-shaven. As you can see, he's white. And at the time of the attack, he was wearing a dark blue boiler suit and dark blue trainers.
And gloves, I believe, as well.
That's correct.
And somebody referred to George.
Yes, I'm undecided as to the significance of this apparent clue. It could be that it's spot on. It could be that in the heat of the moment, one of these robbers has made this mistake and that one of the persons that we're looking for is called George. Alternately, it could be a deliberate ploy by one of the robbers to mislead us.
Perhaps somebody saw them escaping. We showed them escaping over that block of flats car park, Annesley Court.
Well, indeed, we'd be very interested to hear from anybody who was in the Monton Road, Annesley Court area of Eccles on the morning of the 19th of December, who may have seen these three men running away.
Right, and there's a reward, I believe.
There is a reward of 10% of the total property recovered. If all the property is recovered, the reward will be in the region of £10,000 for information leading to the arrest and conviction of these offenders.
Right, Mr. Roberts, thank you very much. If you have seen anything that you recognise there, please do ring us here in the studio on 01 811 8055 or ring the police direct in Manchester on 061 872 5050. That's 061, the code for Manchester, 872 5050.
And now to our incident desk. Crimes from around the country that your called might solve. Tonight, police need your help to catch a robber who struck in Belfast city centre, a bogus doctor who's been conning Midlands people for over 4 years, a man who raped a Sussex schoolgirl, and a gang who robbed a post office van of almost £100,000. Here are Superintendent David Hatcher and Police Constable Helen Phelps.
First, the hunt by police throughout the Midlands for a man who's committed at least 8 indecent assaults by posing as a doctor. He began his career in Coventry in 1981, then turned up in Leicester in 1982 and again in Nuneaton in 1983. Most recently, he's been in Birmingham in the Sheldon area, where 5 weeks ago he assaulted 2 girls. We've reconstructed the events leading up to this latest incident using a particularly good look-alike. So far, the bogus doctor has talked his way into people's homes, into factories, and in Sheldon, into a hairdressing salon.
Can I help you?
Good afternoon. Are you the manageress?
Yes, I am.
Environmental Health and Safety. My name's Alan.
How do you do?
Now, I have to make an inspection of your premises today.
Oh, yeah.
Could you show me around, please?
Yes, I suppose so. If you'd like to come around this way, I'll show the office first.
Thank you.
And this is the kitchen through here.
Yes, well, that all looks nice and clean. Now, do you have any YTS trainees employed here?
Yes, I've 2 girls here at the moment.
I see. And have they had a talk from Health and Safety before?
Not that I know of, no.
I shall have to have a word with them on health and safety at work. Perhaps I could see them one at a time in here.
OK, then. Susie, gentleman here from Health and Safety. I'd like a little chat to you. If you'd like to go next door, I'll take care of your lady for you. All right?
She and another girl were both indecently assaulted by the bogus doctor. He's quite striking at over 6 feet tall, but his white beard may be a false one. If you know who he is, or think that he may have visited you, then please call us. And a word of caution, doctors and health officials don't usually call or make inspections without a prior arrangement. So if you're in any doubt at all, don't let them in.
Next, we need your help with a crime committed in one of Belfast's busiest streets. Late in the afternoon of Thursday the 2nd of January, 4 men were involved in a robbery at the National Provincial Building Society on the corner of Berry Street and Royal Avenue. It was just before 5 when they made off with £2,000 stuffed in a white bag. This is a photo of one of them caught in the act. He's 20 to 30 years old, 5 foot 7 inches tall, with a slim build, swarthy complexion and several days' growth of beard. If you think you know him, please give us a ring.
For 7 weeks now, police in Sussex have been hunting a man who raped a 14-year-old girl. On Thursday the 9th of January, the girl went on a cross-country run from her school in Crawley. At about 10 a.m, as she ran along the A23 towards Cheels roundabout, a copper-coloured Vauxhall Chevette Estate pulled up in front of her. The driver asked the girl for directions to Horsham. He claimed to be disabled and insisted she showed him the route on a map. At that stage, she was dragged into the car, driven 2 miles along towards Pease Pottage to a quiet country lane where she was raped. We've got a good description of the man. He was between 35 and 40 years old, about 5 foot 10 inches tall, well built, with fair hair. The girl remembers he didn't sound like a local, and despite that disabled sticker on the car's rear window, he wasn't disabled. Perhaps the most important clue was the driver's map. It had pencil markings around Dorking with the name Audrey written on it. If you've any idea who the girl's attacker is, or if the name Audrey means anything at all, please ring us in complete confidence.
Finally to Bournemouth on the south coast and a visit from 3 men who weren't in town for the sea air. Their target was a £90,000 pension delivery, and our reconstruction of their attack was filmed by Crimewatch South. At 9:35 on the morning of Thursday the 23rd of January, the pension money was delivered to the Charminster Post Office.
Right, follow that car. Move it!
As the convoy tried to pull away, it was blocked in by a bus.
Come on, get this bus out of the way. Come on!
Just around the corner in Nortoft Road, they switched the money to this stolen brown Sierra. A passing motorist who saw the robbery gave chase, but was soon warned off. That brown Sierra was found abandoned near the Wessex Way in Bournemouth, and it led to the London area. Its real registration number is A353MRO, which was changed sometime after November the 28th when it was stolen from Sydenham in Kent. So you might have seen the car with either number. Inside the car was this map. It's of Beckenham, and more specifically the Cooper's Lane area, with the Squire pub marked on it. We need to know if anyone recognises the writing or knows whose map it is. And we've got good descriptions of two of the robbers. The first was in his late 30s, about 5 foot 8 inches tall, with slim build and an individual taste in hats. His partner is about 40, 5 foot 11, stockily built with dark collar-length hair. He was wearing an old grey anorak. If you recognise them, or anything else on our incident desk, ring us now.
The number to call? 01811 8055. That's 01811 8055.
Our last case is the mysterious murder of a Polish doctor. Danuta Kaczmarska had lived in this country for over 20 years and was a successful GP in Birmingham. 4 weeks ago, she was murdered in her own home, and the police now feel that even her closest friends perhaps might not have known everything about the doctor. Our reconstruction starts in Hall Green in Birmingham.
It's 9 o'clock at night on January the 22nd. Paul Kernich, a keen amateur photographer, lives just a few houses down the road from Dr. Kaczmarska. When smoke started creeping into his living room, he thought his house was on fire. It wasn't, but his phone call led to an extraordinary police investigation.
Fire brigade, please.
Dr. Danuta Kaczmarska owned 2 surgeries in Birmingham, dividing her time between them. Some patients had trouble pronouncing her name, so she settled for Dr. K.
Morning, Irene.
Morning, Dr.
All right?
Yes, thanks. You?
Her personal life is something of a mystery. Police do know she contacted at least one man through his advertisement in a Lonely Hearts column. They met at the Robin Hood pub near her home.
Dear Box 9199, I am a university graduate in a full-time profession within your specified age group. Interested in people, travel, reading, eating, and drinking, but not in sport. A smoker, solvent, without any ties, bored and fed up at times. If you wish, you may contact me by ringing the following number and asking for Kate.
You live on your own, then?
Yes. I used to live with a friend for some years, but there was a terrible accident. He died in a fire.
Well, that sounds awful, Kate. I may call you Kate.
Well, I have to tell you, that's not my real name. I put Kate to answer your advertisement, but my name is Danuta. I hope you don't mind.
Not at all. Here's to the real lady, Danuta.
And to you.
This man has already provided detectives with invaluable information. And perhaps Danuta met other men through magazine or newspaper advertisements. If you met her under the name Kate or any other name, you too might help the police to piece together her story.
And now, madame, we must part.
Oh.
An old Polish custom, I believe.
Oh, very good. Very good. Good night.
Good night.
No. No. Anyway, I'm off to London at the weekend, so I'll phone you when I get back.
January the 21st, the night before her death, and a relaxed phone call to a Polish friend.
Do widzenia, pa.
Police have now established that she'd applied to join a computer dating agency under another name, Diane Ansell, but she never posted that form. The following day, Wednesday, January the 22nd, Danuta went to her local supermarket on the Stratford Road, 4 minutes' walk from her home.
Oh, hello, Sandra. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks, Dr. Kay. How are you?
I'm fine. And the family, how are they, the children?
Yes, they're all right.
Oh, it's cold, isn't it?
Freezing. What's all this food in your bag?
Oh, I have a friend coming to dinner this evening, a patient and a friend, really. And I thought something interesting would be the thing to do. I got all these vegetables and so forth. I hope they like this kind of thing.
If you have a bottle of wine, they won't notice what they're eating.
No, that's true. Oh, I'm in a hurry. I must go, Sandra.
Have a nice evening.
Thank you. I will.
But that dinner was never to be. Did Dr. Kay meet anyone else on her way home to Coniston Close? Someone could have gone back to the house with her. We do know she phoned her surgery at 1:30 to check if she was needed that afternoon.
Hello? It's me, Irene. Are there any messages for me? Oh, good, good. I am just busy chopping up some lovely vegetables for dinner tonight. No, I enjoy doing it. All right, then. I'll see you tomorrow, then. Bye, bye.
At 3 o'clock, she was back at that same supermarket buying a bottle of red wine. The cashier, Helen Mills, has a good reason to remember her visit.
Any cigarettes?
No, thank you.
2.25, please.
There we are.
Thank you.
Oh, the other lady, she's not in today.
She is. She's helping out on a different department at the moment.
Jeez. Is she still suffering with her cough?
She is, I'm afraid, yes.
Well, I've got her these tablets. Tell her to take one every 4 hours. That should sort her out.
Oh, thank you very much. That's
No
kind
trouble.
of you.
No trouble at all. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
At 3:30, a neighbour saw Danuta returning to her house. She was alone then, but her murderer must have been nearby and was almost certainly someone she knew who was perhaps already in the house. Possibly the last thing she did was to share a bottle of champagne with her killer.
Here we are.
Dr. Kay was dead within half an hour. She was killed in her kitchen and her body set on fire.
Well, it's such a shocking murder. Detective Superintendent David Speake, you believe it must have been someone she knew, although not the lady who was due for dinner with her that night. It definitely wasn't her. But why do you think it was someone she must have known?
Well, there was no sign of any forced entry to the house, and obviously the person who was allowed into the house was welcomed by the doctor. And in fact, when he left, he double-locked the mortgage lock and took away a key identical to this. In fact, we haven't found that key.
So it seems that he might have known the house quite well if he knew how to lock the house and what keys to use and so on.
Yes, there are indications because of the findings of a file and things like that. That in fact, shortly before her death, she was drinking champagne, which is Sainsbury's pink champagne, which may well have been bought by her murderer, but it's more likely it was bought by a friend or indeed a patient and given to her perhaps for Christmas. Anyone that bought such a bottle for Dr. Kay or knows of anyone that bought a bottle for her would like them to contact us. And indeed, we believe the murderer took this empty bottle away. And if anyone's found an empty bottle of Sainsbury's champagne abandoned, we'd like them to get in touch.
He also took with him the murder weapon, didn't he, which was an axe, you believe?
Yes, as shown there, it's only about 9 inches in length and quite an unusual axe. We've tried to find one identical and can't do it.
It belonged to her, didn't it?
It belonged to her, and she had it in her kitchen for some time, and again, that's gone, and obviously the murderer has thrown that away somewhere.
So, whoever killed her took the keys, the empty bottle of champagne and the axe with him. He must have been quite conspicuous.
One would think so, but what we haven't had is anyone getting in touch of seeing anyone walking from Coniston Close onto the Stratford Road or in Hall Green on that day, and anyone that saw any person walking from that area would like them to contact us.
Perhaps they will tonight. You feel she could have met other men, perhaps through Lonely Hearts columns or Lonely Hearts organisations, like the man we saw in that reconstruction who's helped you a lot. That incidentally was an actor, not the actual man, but you want other people like that to come forward.
Yes, she was an outgoing lady. She met a number of men. Anyone that saw her 6 months prior to her death, perhaps in a club, a pub, a restaurant or a hotel, with someone, we urgently need them to contact us.
So anyone who might have seen her with somebody is very important. She's a very memorable lady.
Yes, indeed.
Right. Well, let's hope somebody does come forward. Thank you very much indeed. And the number to ring, if you can help at all, is 01 811 8055. Or if you prefer, you can call Birmingham Police Direct. They're on two numbers, 021 772 1065 or 021 772 1033. Just repeat that. That's 021, the code for Birmingham, 772, either 1065 or 1033.
Crimewatch can be a rather grim litany of crimes, but before we go, an appeal that could have a happy ending for someone. See if you recognise any of this lot. £14,000 worth of jewellery. It was recovered by police in North East England, but it might conceivably come from anywhere in the United Kingdom. At the diamond ring, this one, that alone is worth £5,000. It was made in 1974, maybe to mark a special occasion. Equally striking is this elaborate cluster, 10 sapphires and 21 diamonds. And this we're just coming to here, 18-carat gold bracelet. That has figures engraved on it, 75098VIMAR. Do you recognise that? They may mean something to someone. And there's also this collarette and matching earrings. Now we know that's made in London. It's valued at nearly £1,000. Is it yours, or do you know whose it is? But the most distinctive item, and somebody somewhere must surely recognise that, it's not a piece of jewellery at all. It's this leather-bound autograph book, and it contains sketches that date right back to the 1920s. I've marked some because it's terribly distinctive, and if you've seen this once, you'll certainly recognise it. The name on this one, H.H. Rickson, June 1925. Do you recognise that? Or again, if we go closer into it, there are other names, W.W. Wilcox, H. Olivant. Do you recognise that picture there? And there are many others. This is perhaps the most distinctive. J. Dutton is the signature on the bottom, January the 28th, 1922. Beautiful, beautiful pictures all the way through it. There is another one. Someone must recognise it. The number to call if you do, 01811 8055. 01811 8055. Our lines are open until midnight. We'll be waiting for your call.
And all the other numbers are on CFAX, that's on page 186, and so is the address. Crimewatch UK, BBC TV Centre, London W12 8QT. Next month's programme is, as usual, on the last Thursday of the month. That's Thursday, the 27th of March.
But we'll be back to tell you what's happened tonight in an hour and a half from now. That's Crimewatch UK Update at 11:40. Do remember, the biggest penalty we pay for crime is fear. Please don't let them frighten you, and please don't let us frighten you. We've shown you more crimes tonight than you're likely to encounter in several lifetimes. So don't have nightmares. Do please sleep well.
Good night.
Good night.